Good morning, my brothers and sisters. I hope you stay in to pray with me in unity. So usually I have a plan prayer for each day, but today is going to be a little different. So I just want to pray for my family and really for my dad right now. Let me give you just a little backstory. So a long time ago, I think during the time I was coming out of high school, I had a friend, her name was Danielle, and I'm pretty sure if I remember right, she had a dog who had puppies, and he ended up having one puppy who was the runt of the litter, and they were getting ready to dispose of this dog. They didn't think that the dog was going to make it. So I ended up calling my father. And I'm like, we have to take this dog. They're getting ready to, this dog isn't going to make it, they thought that. And I'm like, I will take this run and I will do anything that I can to bring it back to life. And the crazy thing is my dad wasn't a huge animal person. It's not that he didn't like animals, but, he had many kids, and we just kind of didn't have the space and time to take care of an animal growing up. So I just thought in my heart, I'm like, I know my dad is not going to take this dog in, but for some reason, God allowed it to happen. And so that dog was getting ready to come up on 15 years of life, and he passed away yesterday morning. Originally, this was my dog. It was my dog, and there's a beautiful story, and it all unfolds perfectly how God wanted it to. But anyways, this dog was my dad's best friend. He was my dad's best friend. It was where you seen my dad, you seen that dog. And yes, he passed away yesterday morning. And so simply, I just want to say a prayer for him, but just a little bit more of the story. I ended up getting that dog, and 2 years later, I think it was almost 2 years later, I ended up moving out of the house with my dad. And where I was moving into my first apartment, the animal couldn't come. It's just is amazing how God works. So the first year, because I worked with animals in high school and coming out, and I used to be a professional groomer, and I had the knowledge of how to train animals. And so this was a puppy. He had no training. And for that 1 year, before I ended up leaving my dad's place, I spent that 1 year training the dog. So with God's help, this is just amazing how God unfolds everything. I trained that dog, and what do you know? I ended up moving the next year into an apartment that does not allow animals. And so my dad ended up keeping the dog for me, and which was a shock because I didn't think that he was going to keep the dog. And he ended up keeping that dog, and it became his best friend. And that dog, thankfully, through my dad, he took great care of that dog. And he ended up becoming my dad's dog, it's just a beautiful story. So anyways, God had it unfold perfectly. We rescued a dog. The dog was mine while I trained it. And as I left that place, that dog stayed in the place with my dad and has been with my dad until yesterday morning. And that dog lived a very long life. That dog was taken care of. As last night when I speak to my dad, I thank him and I said, thank you for taking care of this dog the way that you did. He loved him. He loves him. We loved him. And he had a very good life. That dog was a fighter. He was a little small dog, and he's been in fights with Rottweilers and big dogs, and he was hit by a car because he was just a rambunctious little dog. But he fought. He was a fighter. He made it almost 15 years. So anyways, moving forward, I just want to say a prayer for the next season of my dad's life, and to ask the Lord to send him comfort and peace, and we all know that he's in a better place. He's safe. And we know that he was loved, dear Lord. So Lord, I just ask for you to send my dad comfort, peace, love, and hopefully he allows me to bless him with a new dog eventually. Obviously, he is mourning, but we know deep down that the Lord has him in a safe place. He's going to take care of him, and we just pray for my dad's next season. And I thank you for that. And we know that he is peacefully resting and he is no longer in pain. This past week, my dad was telling me he went through a lot of suffering, and that's just something that we weren't used to seeing him go through. You know, we just knew him to be a very happy dog. And I ended up going to my dad's house last week, which I had not seen my dad for a long time. And when I went there, I knew the dog was sick. I could see, I know, I can feel, and I know things because I worked with animals. And when I seen him, when I came home that night, I said, Lord, he has a very long life. He had a very long life. If you're ready to take him, take him. And he ended up taking him that next morning. And I was happy that I got to see him before he went. And from the sounds of it, it did sound like he was holding on for a reason. And like I said, he was my dog first, and I rescued him. And deep down in my heart, if you know people, some people, or if you know this, some people will hold on and wait until they see a specific person. And I think he truly waited for me to come see him, because the day after I seen him, or was it 2 days, he ended up passing. So we just pray. Thank you for listening. May peace be with you.